What's something that people don't understand until they experience themselves? How truly liberating financial freedom is to your daily life. Losing a child. It breaks you in ways that are hard to explain. The power of water. People think, oh, I can swim, so I'm perfectly safe on this river, lake, cove, bay, beach, boat. Whether the ocean or a calm lake or river, the water has many, many ways to kill even the most experienced swimmer, and almost all of those ways are invisible. Depression. Honestly, those who have never experienced it haven't a clue how bad it really is. Chronic illness, disability. ADHD. Poverty. Severe dental pain. And, I'm guessing, childbirth. The loss of a loved one. I sure as fuck wasn't prepared to lose my dad. Who is though? No one teaches you that sort of thing. It just hit you when it hit you and you go through it as best as you can. Becoming a widower. The death of each person close to you is a unique and humbling experience because the space they occupy in your life is unique. I could say the same about losing a parent, child, etc. Saying, I understand what it's like losing your wife because my mother died, is a false statement. Homelessness. Poverty. It's not just something where you can just save up or just work harder or just budget or just get another job. It's like quicksand, it keeps pulling you down as you sink further into it, and even when you desperately try to get out of it, it just keeps burying you. The most interesting shows to me are those shows where a rich person and a poor person trade lives, or millionaires spend life in poverty for a week and then they truly realize how the system is constructed so a person can't get out of it. Panic attacks. Psychedelics. Suicidal thoughts. I was one of those that thought that suicidal people were just selfish, until I was hit with severe depression, and suicide just made sense in that frame of mind. I'm doing much better now thanks to good antidepressants. Taking a big life loss. Something that is devastating and unfair. Something completely outside of your control that just smacks you. Sexual assault. It's not always the creepy stranger in the dark alley. It's usually someone you know. And your family and friends who you think will support you. They won't. They'll deny it at best and blame you at worst, or in the case of my mother, both. It also fucks with your sense of safety anywhere. The feeling of being suicidal. People always say it's selfish. But you're not thinking like that when you're suicidal. You can only focus on how you believe the whole world, friends, and family would be better off without you. Migraines. They are not just a bad headache. Seeing someone die in front of you. Cluster headaches. The only official diagnosis I got from my doctor at the time was migraines, but everything matched up to AT with usual symptoms of clusters. Even if they weren't actually cluster headaches in my case, that was some of the most agony I've ever felt. Only lasted a month for me, 2 years in a row before going away, but some people put up with those headaches daily for years, and I cannot fathom that. They get the nickname of suicide headaches for a good reason. Addiction. Seeing a pet that you had for their whole lifetime age and eventually pass away. Got a dog in 2007 when he was a few weeks old. I was 6 at the time. He died a few months back. I am currently 21. I knew it was going to happen someday, but it hit like a truck. Depression. It's not something you can just get over like people think. Being in a life-threatening situation, armed robbery, home invasion, active shooting, bugging. People fantasize about rising to the occasion and becoming Charles Bronson, but you don't know what's happening until it's already happened. All the "if I were in that situation" comments are just morons that think they're the main character of an action movie. Psychosis. It's like being in a terrifying trance. Too many sad things here, so here's a good one. Laying out in an open field at night, away from any towns or cars or people, just staring up at the stars for an hour. It's such an amazing feeling. How different cultures, languages, mentalities, and worldviews differ from country to country, and how those influence each other, can only be understood when living abroad for at least a few months and hanging out with the locals. Going there as a tourist isn't gonna cut it. A broken heart. I never understood why some people have so much trouble getting over an ex. Until a person I adored ended it with me. Being locked in a cage. For anyone reading this who tends to be wild or take risks, tread lightly when it's bordering on illegal. There's few feelings like suddenly having freedom snatched out from under you. And your rights essentially put on pause. Jail and prison are beyond daunting. And it won't take long before you start feeling more akin to an animal in a zoo than a person. If you're anything less than extremely resilient, the oppression of a bare box will bear down on you quick, and loosen at least a few screws in your head. A friend backstabbing you, especially when you've been nothing but decent to them. It really hurts and it can't be described, only felt. But I'd never wish that pain on anyone. Combat or war. They almost can't make a realistic enough show or movie. If they did, it would bore you to death and then terrify you and then rip your heart out. The pain of a kidney stone. Divorce. Having your significant other cheat on you. Almost everything. Most people are terrible at empathy and actually trying to understand another's troubles. Migraines. No, it's not just a headache. Part of your head feels like it's being hammered. The tiniest source of light becomes unbearable, you're nauseous, and the painkillers take forever to kick in. So you just lie there, in the dark room, hoping it would go away faster than the last time. I had to take days off because of this shit, and also had been in a hospital due to the severity of it. This shit sucks. Going through a weight loss or fitness journey. So many people who have never struggled with weight see an obese person and assume they are just lazy and always eating shit food. Some obese or overweight people are working their asses off to try and get healthy. Seeing the Grand Canyon. It's the only thing I've ever seen that pictures and videos can't convey even a little bit. You see a picture, it's like, oh, it's pretty, appears to be a canyon. It's an overwhelming and transcendent experience. Getting diagnosed with metastatic cancer. ADHD is so much worse than the jokes would have you believe. Chronic illness. You don't get it till you get it, and no, your grandmother's arthritis isn't the same as my autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. People don't remember that everyone is literally one illness or accident away from their lives being irrevocably changed. War. Poverty and low-income lifestyle. I've seen a lot of people who can't wrap their heads around the idea that some people count their spendings by the penny and are anxious about every single purchase they make. Even in a middle-class country, upper class are still unaware of the struggle lower classes go through. Hemorrhoids. I think any form of chronic hidden pain illness. It's hard to truly empathize, not sympathize with someone if you've never experienced it yourself. Some people hide it so well too, and you'd never know they're going through a constant internal battle unless they told you. It's definitely something that saps enjoyment from your day one way or another. Mental illness. True platonic friendship with someone of the opposite sex. Having a mentally unhinged parent or sibling. If you relate to any degree, my heart is with you. Living in a foreign country for more than a year. You can watch TV programs about Japan and India, etc. But living in different culture needs to be experienced. Working retail or food. It's physically and mentally exhausting to be on your feet for 8 hours daily while customers are yelling at you or going out of their way to treat you like a lesser human being. How fast kids actually grow up. Every soon-to-be parent gets told you'll blink and they're teenagers, blink again and they've moved out, but damn, until you have kids you don't really understand. It does go so fast.